you want to go, Alex? Maybe talk about what you've almost been here 2 years, haven't you? So
almost 2 years.
Yeah, maybe talk a little bit about the things that you've been doing with us since you started.
Yeah, sure. So I guess when I started back in February of 2019, it was in sort of a bit of a period where things were we were still just picking up new projects. So it was a slightly quieter period than sort of maybe a couple months ago. But that being said, there was still a lot of things for me to do. They got me started on just a few reports and just started working on projects right away. And then as that progressed throughout the year, I got the opportunity to work on a few different clients. So I did a bit of work with Melbourne Water and even went out to their site over in Brooklyn, which is over the Westgate Bridge, sort of towards Altona area. So I spent about 3 months over there helping them with their chemical management system, coming up with sort of how to organize the various chemicals that they have at the different sites that they have, and sort of making that into a bit more of a safer and I guess less hazardous storage area. And then after that, I also did a bit of work helping out with Impex over in Perth. So just doing remote work. So working in Melbourne and helping out those guys over there. And then at the start of this year, I actually got help. I started working with the life science department. So they're sort of a new part of the business that were acquired through the AMEC Foster Wheeler acquisition. And so they're working with CSL and they have started a sort of a big project that went from feed through to detailed design, and they'll undergo construction around in the middle of next year. And so I've been helping out on that project for pretty much the entire year. And that's been something a bit different because for the first sort of year of my time at Wood, it's just been oil and gas projects and a bit of water. But now looking into pharmaceuticals and sort of the different standards and the different ways that things work, different processes, that was all a big learning curve for me at the start. But then the team has been really helpful, and they've sort of helped guide me through the initial stages. And now, so we've progressed really well, and we're sort of finishing up the process side of things, and now it's left to the piping and construction teams to continue that work.
Oh, wow.
So I've had a bit of sort of, I guess Andrew was saying there wasn't really much of a rotation program, but I've been a bit lucky in that I've sort of had the opportunity to experience a few different parts of the business. So just working in my own team, and then going over to Melbourne Water, and now over in life sciences as well. So I've had the opportunity to experience a few different industries within my time here at Wood, and just get a feel for sort of all the different things that Wood as a company do, and the different clients that we work with.
Beautiful. Thanks for that, Alex.
No worries.
So Alex, how about you, Megan?
So my experience, as I mentioned before, I started here in February 2020, so it was a very interesting time to start. I think I spent about 3 or 4 weeks in the office when we went into lockdown, and then I worked from home for the next couple of months. But similar to Alex, I've been quite lucky in that I've been exposed to a lot of different projects. So far, I've been here 10 months. I've worked across many projects, but 4 different clients. So I've done work for Impex and for Woodside, Santos, and BHP. And whilst all that was in oil and gas, it was really different, all the projects I was working on. And now I'm going to be starting a decarbonisation project in mining, so to do with lithium. So that's something that I'm looking forward to, and that's something that's different. And, that's all within the space of a year. So it's been a good experience. And similar to Alex, it was, you do the project from day one, and there's no fluffing about.
Yeah. That's really great. Yeah. So right off the bat, you're always kind of learning new things and being flexible with your time.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Okay. In that case, shall we move on to our little Q&A section?
Yep. Go ahead.
Beautiful. So essentially what we've done as SMUCE is we've contacted the SMUCE cohort, and we've basically polled a bunch of questions from the cohort. So all these questions come from the cohort and the general representative population. And I guess that's what they kind of wanted to ask Wood in particular. So let's get cracking. Prabhash, do you want to do the first question, or do you have questions?
No worries. I can go with the first one.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. So this is like the common question that everyone want to know. How does the average day of a process engineer in Wood looks like? Like how does it feel or how does it look like for a process engineer who is working in Wood a day? So yeah.
Okay, you guys, over to you.
I can go. I guess for me, the sort of the average day has changed a bit from sort of a year ago because it used to be, take the train into the office, get into the office about 8:40 ish, and then sort of catch up on some emails and get to work. But now with working from home, that sort of travel time has changed, and that whole dynamic of getting into the office and saying hi to your colleagues has definitely changed. But in terms of, I guess, since working from home, I get to sleep in a little bit more because I don't have to travel as far. It's just from the bedroom to the desk. But then, pretty much most of the things are still pretty similar. So I catch up on some emails, in the morning, just sort of to plan out my day, see if there's any, pressing matters that need to be, completed during the day or sort of this week. And then it sort of spend the first half hour, so just like planning out the day and getting, around what things I need to do. And then it's pretty much just into the projects, and working on, I guess, a variety of things. So for example, it could be like P&IDs, marking up those. You could be doing a few calculations. So just verifying and checking things like that. And then there's probably maybe one or two meetings that are sort of thrown in, throughout the day. I think so. Sometimes it's a client meeting as well. So that's sort of like a typical Wednesday for me where I have a client meeting in the afternoon. And then sort of, yeah, and just to check progress, just to see, how everyone's doing, if there's any items that need to be discussed or questions that we need clarification on. And then, that brings me to about the afternoon and, just finishing up a few more things. Again, sort of all just like P&IDs, process, chemical engineering related things. And that sort of rounds out my day and, gets done about 5:30, 6 o'clock sort of thing.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Nice.
Megan, do you have anything to add?
Yeah.
What?
Let me answer first, and then I'll tell you the story.
Right, I'll go first. I probably start work a little bit earlier. I definitely like to leave earlier. Definitely don't like to stay past 4:30. My day's pretty similar. When I first started, it was just all about doing the work. That's all I have. Obviously now that I've been here a bit longer, I have a few more meetings that I sometimes have to do, but they're very similar to Alex. I prefer to just get in and start my day, do the work. And not very good with my emails, to be honest. I definitely let them pile up and check them just every now and then. But I like the fact that it is about the work and just delivering that work.
Yeah.
My typical day, I don't have every day is different, and most days start with a panic, the issues that crop up, and deal with those first. No typical day, so it's usually reaction, lots of care. Basically, it's time.
Okay.
Okay.
No worries. I'll take the next question. This one might be a bit more targeted towards Megan and Alex. Sorry, Sandra. But so I heard that you guys were recent Monash graduates. What skills do you think you've developed at Monash University that you feel benefited your time in the industry as a general, or in Wood itself? Or even the application process with any specific skills that the cohort watch out for and pay attention to.
I guess I'll take that, just because that's a bit more Monash University related.
Yeah.
So I guess for me, it was sort of the soft skills that I learned whilst at uni. So the group work that you do as part of the engineering degree. Although at the time it may not be sort of the best thing or the thing you're most excited about working in a group, but it's definitely helped in that transition from uni to the professional side of things, because I guess in an everyday environment you're sort of always working with someone, whether it's 1, 2, 3, even 4 different people, just sort of liaising with different disciplines, people of different backgrounds. So I guess at Monash and in uni in general, that's sort of what you're able to experience, just being able to work together with people from different backgrounds, different ways of thinking, and that's definitely really helped with the transition. And I guess another thing is a few of the opportunities that Monash offer. I'm not sure if you guys know about the Mighty project. And then there's also a few summer research things. And then in chemical engineering in particular, there's the industry-based learning, the IBL program as well. And so those are sort of things that have helped me during the application, just having those experiences to talk about, and those sort of things to say that, I've been out in the industry. These are some of the examples of that. These are the things that I've sort of learned from it. And so that definitely helped in the application process, giving me things to talk about.
Beautiful. Megan, I understand you were at University of, I believe in Western Australia, was it? I think so, yeah. But generally, from a general university and tertiary education perspective, any other things that you could add to that, or the soft skills? Soft skills are pretty important, but is there anything else you can add?
Yeah, definitely. I think the most important, the most technical skill from university that's been really applicable at Wood is just using PySys. I don't know if you guys use it. We use it a little bit here, so I found that really useful.
Okay.
Yeah, we used Aspen Plus while we were over at Monash. They said that was the industry standard. First day was sort of a bit of a shock when I found out that no one uses Aspen Plus. But
Really? That's a bit of a shock.
Sorry, mine's not very helpful.
Yeah, so that does.
Academia and real world.
But no, I think aside from that, I think the most important thing, sounds a bit funny to say, but knowing how to learn, that's really important. If you don't have that process already, then you're not going to have it in the workplace sort of thing. So it's just, you have to learn things quite quickly once you start a job. So I think just knowing how to do that and the best way to go about that is really good.
Wow. Thank you. That's really good advice.
Well, that's a fair point.
Yeah.
One of the things, a differentiator between graduates is the ability to pick up new things and the speed at which graduates pick up new things. Maybe that's not always clear for people at university once they finish uni. In a workplace environment, you don't necessarily have the luxury of actually spending the night learning up on it or the weekend or whatever else to get up to speed. You get a finite amount of time really, and an expectation that you learn rapidly and start becoming productive very quickly.
And just on that, Akbar, actually, one of the tests that we're looking at introducing next year as part of psychometric testing in the selection process actually does measure that bit there, the ability to pick up something new that you obviously didn't know before. And that tests your ability to do that. So, yeah, very good point. That's why we thought we'd introduce this thing, the psychometric testing component next year, just to further refine that part.
Beautiful.
I think the other point we want to make, I guess, is a fallout from this year. The penalty for having Teams, Zoom, Skype, all the rest of that, and the skill set people will lose by doing that. And I appreciate that a lot of students have been forced to work from home. But one of the skill sets in the workplace environment that's the differentiator is being able to work with people. And Zoom and Skype calls don't always teach you that. Back it up. You have to interact with real people. And if you're not able to interact with real people, you don't know how to do that. That's certainly not going to be something that's going to help you in the workplace.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
Beautiful. Pradesh?
Yeah. So I think this would be for Sandro. So So as you mentioned in your presentation about the vacation and graduate opportunities, what sort of things would an average graduate accomplish during that time of the vacation and graduate programs?
So we'll start off with a vacation program. So that's typically a 12-week thing. that we run over the summertime. And depending on where you land, where the positions are, you can either be doing kind of general helping out, assisting a senior person within that team. Some actually have it a little bit more organised and planned a lot better, where they actually get the vacation student to deliver a very standalone little project. And what we get to do, every vacation student on their last day, we ask them to do a presentation for a whole bunch of people. Number one, just reflecting back on the 12 weeks, and also then talking about what they've done during that 12-week period. And with that, what we want to do is to try to convert, all things being equal, right? Try to convert as many vacation students to graduates as we can, because that just saves everyone a whole amount of time. And a vacation program is like the best assessment centre ever, right? Because it lasts for 12 weeks. So that's the vacation program works like that. With the graduate program, we believe that probably after 2 years, or maybe a little bit after 2 years, they're probably ready, maybe 2.5 years, they're probably ready to be promoted out of a graduate to the next level up, engineer level, for example, because we believe they probably would have acquired the right amount of experience and the right amount of varied experience as well in order to graduate up from a graduate to an engineer. And also during that period, like Alex and Megan, hopefully they would have also had exposure different programs or different projects, different clients as well. And like with Alex especially, I guess he's been in different industries as well. So, we try to do all that. So at the end of 2 years, 2.5 years, well-rounded, ready to be promoted to engineer level.
Ooh.
Thanks, Andrew.
No worries.
Thanks, Andrew.
Maybe this might be for Akbar, but basically, how has COVID, aside from Zoom calls and kind of client meetings that are done online, in terms of the actual processes and operations you guys do with many clients, how has COVID and the current work restrictions affected the proceedings at
Well, COVID did have an effect. We had a downturn in the result because what happened was a lot of clients went into lockdown as well, and all key decision makers were working from home, and consequently work dropped off. But we came back out of it fairly well, so picking up fairly rapidly now. I anticipate next year is going to be a bit of a boom year worldwide for everything. Globally is going to come back out of hibernation. That the vaccine is going on board and everything. I expect, particularly the second half of next year, is going to be phenomenally fast everywhere in the world. All these pent up, because I think we're not taking holidays for 2 years and all the rest of it, just fly off all over the place, or buy new cars and you name it, and has direct impact on any industry. Give a boom time, like just my thoughts. When is it going to get boom?
Yeah, sure. This can be a very small question. So, this what does a conventional career pathway of an engineer at Wood look like? Maybe anyone?
I reckon. You can answer that. Career path of an engineer at Wood.
There's no conventional career. There's the short answer. I mean, once everybody does some base years, let's say you've got the graduate program, you do a few years doing engineering. Some people choose not to continue with engineering; they go into various other sectors. It could be specialist, project controls, for example, or even move into project management. It just depends what people want to do after that. You have the base training. Some people granted will do engineering and are happy to do engineering for the rest of their career. And of course, the choice, everything's moving on in the industry. We as a company are developing and changing rapidly in terms of we're moving energy sources different. That's also moving people into a different sector completely. So more renewable sector and liquid-based green energy, particularly. I suspect will be the next. I know it will be the next big thing over the next 3 years, and something that Australia will be exporting a lot of going forward.
Just
Well, I think that's the bulk of the questions done. But
Yeah.
generally, what we like to do at SMUCE with the industry panels is kind of end on a kind of a lighthearted note. Because once if you think about it, the audience here are more chemical engineers or just engineers in general, and so that these our audience we assume are the problem solvers of tomorrow. So, Sandra, Aqua, Megan, Alex, you guys can. Well, it would be good if you guys could give a little bit of maybe a final quote or a saying, something to maybe inspire them, motivate them, a little bit of advice maybe from your experience. That would be a really good, nice way to end off.
I can start off, and one of the things that I always say to graduates when they first start is that take any opportunity that is presented to you, irrespective of how ridiculous it might sound. It may have nothing to do with the degree that you studied. It might have nothing to do with what you're interested in, but every opportunity is a learning opportunity, and you should take it up. Because number one, you learn, and number two, you just broaden your network as well, and that's always good, and you grow your personal brand.
What can I say? I guess the biggest change a lot of graduates find with it coming to university is coming to industry after university is that they've got a very nice structured environment and they get to learn around predefined areas. But when it comes to industry, one of the things people and graduates learn pretty quickly, or sometimes the hard way, is they learn what they don't know. And that's difficult, to know what you don't know. Because in university, you pretty much conquered it and got through them really well, and because you know what you're taught. But when you come to industry, you actually don't know what you don't know. And that's the difficult part.
Megan?
I don't think I was saying, but I'll ask a little bit of advice. My biggest piece of advice for any graduates starting a company is when you start, go and find out where IT sit and make sure you become friends with them, because my problem I had is IT issues. Down the biggest impact that I've faced. So.
Yeah, and can I add to that too, Megan, is when you start a new organisation, there's two groups. One is definitely IT, like Megan just said, and the other one is reception.
Oh.
Get chummy with reception because they can pull a lot of strings for you. And the other one is facilities as well. So people who manage, the desks and all that jazz, get chummy with them too.
I'll take that in mind. Thank you for that.
Well, yeah, I guess I don't really have a saying either. But I guess for me, just for any graduates starting out, sort of along the same lines of Sandra and what I both said, but just don't be afraid to ask the questions. So you might think that they've hired you as a graduate and you're expected to know this. And if I ask the question, they might think they might have hired the wrong person, sort of thing. But just don't be afraid to ask those questions when you're unsure, because at the end of the day, it's not like uni where you can mull over it for a couple of days and then maybe ask a friend or eventually figure it out. These are sort of all projects with sometimes tight deadlines that need to be delivered. And so, you just sometimes you just got to be able to ask those questions and clarify things so that you're able to get the work done and meet those obligations as for the client.
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely.
Well, it was nice meeting everyone. It was nice finally kind of getting hold of everyone. And thank you once again for being here. But do you have any final questions for us, or is that it from us?
I don't have any questions. Any of the other Wood team have any questions of these guys?
No.
No, Megan, Alex, we're all good by the looks of it, guys.
Alrighty.
Thank you for organising this. And like I said at the start, thanks for giving us the opportunity to present to you guys.
No worries. Okay. All right. We'll see you later then.
Okay.
All right. Thanks,
Thank
guys.
you so much.
Thanks,
Bye-bye.
See you later.
Yeah.